thank you everybody so much for coming out tonight. It's lovely to see you all here. My name is Zane Cox. I am the Senior Fellow for the Arts at New Bedford Creative, and it is my honor to welcome you all to the official opening of the 2024 Seaport Artwalk.
Hey!
Very exciting. We're very, very proud to be part of another fantastic year for public art in New Bedford, and we're going to have a lot of fun tonight walking and talking and hearing from all of this year's featured artists. So just a little bit of background on the show, if you're not familiar. New Bedford's annual Seaport Artwalk was founded in 2013 by artist Jessica Bergoli Sparling, who's here with us. And it was New Bedford's very first large format outdoor public art exhibition. Every summer, murals, sculptures, and installations are placed strategically along the working waterfront in the heart of New Bedford's beautiful Seaport Cultural District. Every year, we have a different theme, and this year we decided that our theme would be Call of the Sea, which we're going to learn all about tonight. Really quickly, I just want to go ahead and thank all of our fantastic partners and funders, because none of this would be possible without them. And I am going to look at my notes because we have a lot. We make a lot of friends, so I want to make sure we get everybody. Seaport Artwalk is facilitated by New Bedford Creative, housed at the New Bedford Economic Development Council, and is a collaboration with the City of New Bedford's Parks, Recreation, and Beaches Department, Explore New Bedford, Design Art Technology Massachusetts, better known as DADMA, the New Bedford Fishing Heritage Center, UMass Dartmouth's College of Visual and Performing Arts, and also Bristol Community College's Visual and Performing Arts Department. This program is supported in part by the City of New Bedford's Arts, Culture, and Tourism Fund, with additional support from Bristol County Savings Bank and the New Bedford Cultural Council, a local agency which is supported by the Mass Cultural Council, a state agency. We're very grateful to all of our funders, and we are especially grateful to Mayor Jon Mitchell and his administration for their continued unwavering support of the arts in New Bedford. So at this time, it is my honor to invite Mayor Mitchell to say a few words.
Zane, thank you for that introduction. Thank you for everything that you're doing. This is really lends itself to a tour of this type. Comes in real handy. So thank you for shepherding us tonight. Margot, thank you for being Margot. Let's hear it from Margot. No, look, Margot is the city's first arts coordinator, and we were lucky to have her. She came back home. She's a New Bedford High grad and had gone off and done some great things in Boston and other places, and decided, well, when the opportunity came up to do right by her hometown, she jumped at it, and the rest is history. She's just made things happen, and the Seaport Artwalk is just one of those things that she's facilitated, both in terms of the funding as well as the coordination of artists and sort of the curation, but just in hyping it up as it should be hyped. And so it's working, Margot. Your magic, you're working your magic, the sorceress herself. I had to work that in.
I know.
Yeah, you're never going to live that down. But anyway, well, thank you. And then Jess Bergoli, who got married at some point since I saw her last. What can I say? She really, when this started out in 2013, she really was the impetus for it. And she just is so widely respected in the arts community in the city, and was somebody who could convene folks and could do it very credibly and launch something like this. Something like this just doesn't happen automatically. You got to bring people together. You got to convince them it's worthy of their time and worthy of their effort. And to the extent that it's funded, the people with the funds, including city government, you got to convince them it's all worth it. And she did. And so I really want to thank you for your enduring leadership on this. It's great to see it. It's been a while. I'll just say a couple words. I want to just congratulate all the artists and all their supporters who are here tonight. Just a word of perspective on this. I'm thrilled that it's been going on for a decade now, because what that suggests is it really has traction, right? It's really taken root, and people look forward to it, and it's something that a lot of folks inside and outside of city government are committed to. But I just think that what's special about it, there's something really special about it, very unique. So we live, people have heard me say versions of this before, but we live in an America that craves novelty. And maybe it's true the world over, right? There's a certain, because of, we're so interconnected, we end up, things start to become a little homogenized right around the world. And as you see parts of the US growing, especially in the Sun Belt, everything looks a little the same. And what we crave, and we can find so much at our fingertips, what we crave really is something that's new, that's different, that provokes thought, and something that's unique and authentic. I like to say, and I'm biased, that New Bedford scores high on that metric because it is a unique place in America. There's no place quite like New Bedford. Its story and its people and so forth. And then I think if you dig a little bit deeper in that, and you start to think, well, what is really unique about it? Every mayor likes to say such things. Every mayor likes to say their restaurants are better than everybody else's, and their people are smarter and harder working than everybody else, and so forth, and their city's more beautiful. So I get all that, but when you get right down to it here in New Bedford, there's no, what we're doing here tonight, I think, exemplifies what's different. It's this intersection of creativity and a commitment to artistic expression with the connection to the sea, right? It's these two things that come together here like they really don't in too many other places. Sure, there are places that along the coast of the United States where there are, art galleries by the water and so forth. But in New Bedford, we get at it. We're immersed in it. We're immersed in the work at sea, right? There's nowhere else in the country where we see this kind of concentration of fishing activity. Nothing even close to it. And we've cited the data about our artistic community, our arts community, that there are few places that have a more dense concentration of working artists anywhere in the United States. And so much of that artwork is connected to what we do on the water. And so we're not one of these places where we thought it would be a good policy idea, a good program just to superimpose arts on in a place where it didn't exist before. It's really in our DNA. And so what you see here tonight as we walk along the central waterfront and see what folks have created and how so much of that has some sort of connection, is emblematic or is in some way representative of what we're doing in the ocean. It's all true to ourselves. It's authentic. It is so genuine, and really, you'd be hard pressed to find anywhere where that's more true in the United States. So, I just think it's all very cool. But again, I'm biased, but I suspect you probably feel the same way too. That if you're here, you see it the same way too. That there nowhere else in America can you feel like you're really connected because people are in fact connected. They're not just putting it on. So I hope you enjoy the tour tonight. There'll be ample opportunity to bring friends down here over the course of the summer and over the next few months, because it goes through all the way to like winter time, right?
End of October,
right? So it'll be around here for everybody to see and take in over the course of the summer. But I want to thank all of you for being evangelists of this kind of work. Spread the word. Let everybody feel your enthusiasm for what we do here, because that'll benefit everybody, including the people who actually do the creating. So thanks, everybody. Enjoy the tour. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Mitchell, for those words. And again, thank you for your support. So for our first piece of the night, we've got something that really exemplifies the theme of Call of the Sea. And the wonderful person who made this is not just an artist, she is also the founder and curator of the Seaport Artwalk, and she's got to find where she's going to speak. So whenever she's ready, please welcome Jessica Bergoli Sparling.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. It's very exciting. I'm still horribly as bad with public speaking as I was 11 years ago and very nervous about it, so sorry. I have to say that every year. Helps calm my nerves. But really, thank you. You know, this really started with like a ragtag of us at CVPA at the Star Store, which unfortunately does not exist anymore. We didn't have any sponsors to begin with for the first 2 years, and we got a lot of traction. The mayor jumped on, and it turned into where we are now, which is really funding a lot of artists, and it's amazing. And that was always my original idea, was to pay artists. Pay artists not only for their time, but for their material, for their ideas, for the ingenuity, for their talent, their skills, the education, everything. So it's just super excited to have everybody here. Thank you so much, Eric Lintala. He's here, one of my biggest supporters, one of my teachers at school. I feel like he's a peer, but I am definitely not his peer. He is way ranking above me. And his art is still here. It's over there. His art just lasts years and years and years. An amazing sculpture artist and a great inspiration. And thank you so much for being like, yeah, you could do this. You got this. And yeah, here we are.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to talk about my piece right now. And I'm just going to read it because I'm nervous. Thank you, thank you. From the shores, one can hear many distinctive sounds of the ocean. Floating above, the crashing of the waves and the call of the seagulls. You will often hear the ringing of a bell. May it be from a buoy, a lighthouse, or a passing boat. It offers a signal of guidance to all within listening distance. Sea Bells is the name of this piece, is an answer to that call. Constructed of metal tubes and recycled reclaimed materials, this oversized wind chime gently rings in the ocean breeze and offers its own distinctive sound to many crossing our waters. Thank you so much. Yay!
Welcome to stop number 2, everybody. This is a project that actually started last year, and it was so popular that we decided to bring it back for 2024. So here to talk about her Secret City fish is the wonderfully talented Mandy Frazier.
Thank you, Zane, for the awesome intro. Yeah, so this piece, or these 3 pieces, are called Secret City Fishing, and they are to match the Secret City whales from last year. They're done in the same style, and this is an homage to our fishing industry here in New Bedford. And I chose these 3 specifically because they're 3 of the 5 most lucrative catches out of the fishing industry in New Bedford Harbor, and that's according to NOAA. And that's been for the past 20 years. So that's pretty impressive. I wanted, to do something. We did these barriers last year, and I said, wow, look at all these other barriers that are just sitting here waiting for something. Like I said, we have a flounder, a lobster, and a codfish, and the words are all about New Bedford and the industry, and some local places like George's Bank, which is a fishing area out in the North Atlantic, and I'm not sure what else to say. I guess
You're
that's
going to be doing more.
Oh yes, I am going to be doing more. So there's another 5 barriers. There's a lot of barriers actually, but closer to the grass. And be continuing this project and doing 5 more pieces of other lucrative seafood of New Bedford. So you keep your eyes out. Oh, that's the star. That's number one done. Yep, that'll be that's the centerpiece. The scallops, of course, we cannot forget the scallops. And there'll be some tuna involved, maybe some bluefish. We'll see how it unfolds. But anyway, keep your eyes out for that. I'll be starting on those next week, actually. So when you come back for a Seaport Artwork tour, you can see another new piece.
So this is a piece created by somebody who, I think this is his first time participating in the Seaport Artwalk, but he is no stranger to the local art scene. So please welcome Boston Maki.
Hi everybody. Feel a little bit like Bob Barker with this thing. Price is right. Come on down. So my real name is Mark Cavallo. The title of this piece is "If You Can Read the Stars, You'll Never Be Lost." I've always been obsessed with space and the ocean, and as someone who also enjoys taking adventures, going out on my kayak or camping or mountain climbing, I often think how difficult it would be if I didn't have this device with me nowadays. This probably gets me to 90% of the places that I need to go to. So then I started to think about, for this project, and how are the old school navigators, how is it possible for them to cross the globe with precision using the stars and the sun? Well, they would actually use a sextant. So in this piece, I have a navigator or an explorer who's actually using a sextant. And for any of you Gen Zers that are out there, a sextant is an analog GPS. So they would actually use this to match up two different points in the horizon, and they could calculate actually their distance and where they were actually heading. So on the right hand side, a little tough to see with the glare, but I have kind of a whole celestial background. Sort of looks like a cloud because one of my favorite memories is being at the beach at night and being able to actually see the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. So there's a lot more color in there that you can actually see. I did this piece by using my style of spray paint and one stencil. The stars were also created with spray paint. And as an added little thing, because sometimes pieces like this are great to see during the daytime, but they kind of lose something at night. So inlaid into the board, I attach solar LEDs. So at night, if you walk by this, the stars will actually come out and twinkle. That's my piece.
Very cool.
Thank you so much, Mr. Carvalho, Mr. Maki. A couple of steps my direction, folks. We're going to be coming to the next stop very shortly.
The show that's presented on these photo displays is a show, in fact, about New Bedford. New Bedford has innovations that are very forward-moving and that touch an international audience. They include areas in, primarily the show is about technology, and we have wind energy and the technology behind wind energy. We have some of the incredible innovations with Woods Hole Oceanographic and their underwater research. And then we're also presenting local work by New Bedford Research and Robotics and some of the innovations that they're doing. So this exhibition is pretty photo heavy, trying to show some behind the scenes imagery to help us understand and also get a perspective that you don't normally see just from looking out at the landscape or going to some of these the websites. So we worked with several of the organizations in these fields of ocean research, robotics, and wind energy, and deep sea research. Joining me today was one of our major collaborators, Janine Laurel, who handles outreach education for Vineyard Wind, who was an extraordinary partner in helping us retrieve really great imagery that you're seeing around you. So several of these displays have a lot of the imagery that Janine's going to be speaking of. So just one more visiting speaker for this show, which is called The Art of Technology.
All right, hi guys, I'm Janine. I am the education manager at Vineyard Wind, and I was super excited to put these posters out here with DATMA because there's nothing better about telling our community story than to do it in art. So what you guys will see, we have 6 big posters, and they're all telling the story about building the nation's first commercial scale offshore wind project here in New Bedford. So that first photo that you see that you guys might be seeing behind us, that is actually right here at the Marine Commerce Terminal. So those big white pillars that you see behind us, those are the wind towers. Those are the blades, those are the nacelles that are being assembled here in New Bedford and going out to sea. And then all these amazing photos that Lauren actually is the one who captured are taking our community members and actually bringing them the 15 miles off the coast so we can see the construction that's happening here. So of course, this is one of our first wind turbines that is actually up. We now have 23 that are up and generating electricity. I think we're generating enough electricity about 90,000 homes right now. Our goal is to build 62, and that will power 400,000 homes in Massachusetts. What's really cool is not only are we building these wind turbines here in New Bedford, but we're bringing a bunch of other industries here as well. We're working with the fishermen to make sure they're included. We're working with all these other. That is a Windea boat that has been built, a crew transfer vessel that will be taking the crew out there. They are going to be housed here in New Bedford. They'll be housed off the coast of Massachusetts. This right here is the electrical substation. This is the biggest piece of electricity that's out there in the middle of the ocean right now. And it all is happening here in New Bedford. So something for all of us to be really proud of. And we're making offshore wind energy Massachusetts is the hub, so it's really cool that it's happening here in our community, and it's really cool that we get to tell these stories. So I'll be here. We have an education exhibit at Bristol Community College that's open all summer, Wednesday to Friday, 10 to 4, so you guys can come in and learn more about what's going on off the water, but then also you can just check it out here on your way to all of the awesome, cool things that we have in New Bedford. So thank you guys for hosting me.
Thank you, Janine. Some of the public art that we have on display, besides the photo displays here, we have a piece of door sculpture in Custom House Square by New York City-based Mark Riegelman, and then newly created, we have a piece called Plastic Rooster by Lisbon-based street artist Bordalo. When you cross the New Bedford Fairhaven Bridge, there's another piece there. So we just, like people like Boston Maki and Superflat and New Bedford Creative and all the artists here, thank you for all of your hard work to keep public art accessible in the city. Thank you.
Yay!
All righty. Follow me, folks. Onward to our next stop. Alrighty, welcome to our next stop. You might recognize this wonderful lady from her piece last year, which was called Vibrant Passage, and she returns again in 2024 with her sea shanty. So please welcome Brooke Mullins-Doherty.
Thank you. So Sea Shanty is inspired by the Wellerman, which for those of you who may not know the song, it's a traditional sea shanty that tells the story of a whale hunt gone wrong. My kids discovered this song last year, and it inspired a big family deep dive into the world of sea shanties with their fascinating combination of history lesson and then driving beat. We sang along in the car and had all these great conversations about whaling, the history of whaling in New Bedford and the lives of the men aboard the ship. And so aboard the ships, plural. So I started trying to draw the chorus of the Wellerman as a line that was curving and lifted up and sunk down with the cadence of the song. And then I drew that across a series of vertical bars that represented the driving beat of the song. And as I started experimenting more with how to draw this, I started curving the vertical lines. And then they started turning into octopus tentacles. And then I thought, oh, if I join these together at the base, then they become an octopus, and then the whole song lifts up in the air. And now I have a structure to connect the outer song to. So Sea Shanty takes the form of a song wrapped around an octopus. So it's made out of a steel armature that includes 8 curved tentacles that also represent the bars of measures and sheet music. And then the outer line here is the song itself. Um, do I want to do this? Soon be the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. And it kind of has bent a lot, so I don't know that it is 100% faithful at this point. But this was a lot of fun to work on. It's a little bit different than some of the work that I do, but because it has a more specific story and inspiration. But it's really connected to my larger themes of trying to make visual the forces that shape our bodies and our lives, forces like turbulence and wind and things that are happening microscopically, the very small, the very large. But here I chose purples and blues because they reference the clouds and the wind. And I thought that was very appropriate for something related to the sea. So thank you very much.
Awesome and great singing.
This is a piece called The View from Here, and it was created by local indigenous artist Jacob Jinga. He also goes by Maker Jake. Jake has been a part of the Seaport Artwalk for a few years in the past. He had some awesome murals back in 2021 and 22. He had a last-minute snag tonight, so unfortunately he can't be here with us, but he did provide me with a nice statement to read out to all of you. If I can find it. Here it is. So Jacob says about his piece, "The view from here showcases the lives of those who reside and work in this city, exploring what attracts them, what they cherish, and their perspectives on it. Each view is captured from real locations around the city, seen through individuals' windows. Scanning the QR codes, which are taped along here, will lead you to a web page with details about each person, along with a playlist that they have curated to share. The exhibition theme, Call of the Sea, reflects how diverse people experience this call and this city." A very beautiful statement from Jacob Jinga. All right, we're going to head on to our penultimate stop, just a few steps south once again.
I actually grew up in the south end of the city here in New Bedford, so I was fortunate to be able to spend almost any summer day I wanted to on the beach. So that was kind of my initial personal call to the sea. And that was in the 1960s, which is kind of dating me, I guess. But, you know, that was a time when you had all the beach music coming out, the Beach Boys, and then the beach movies, beach blanket bingo and things like that. So when I tried to think about a theme for this, for some reason, surfing just seemed to manifest itself. I'm not a surfer, but I do know surfers, and they are people that are constantly called to the sea because any time of the year, any temperature, whatever, they're out there on the water. So, and I just love the beauty of the form of someone on a board flying along in waves through the wind and things like that. So that was the basis for my piece. It's an all steel sculpture. There's a lot of recycled steel in the board and in the base and a little bit in the figure. So that's what I did. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ed. We're going to head back the way we came, and we're actually going to be crossing the street to get to our final stop. It's a little treacherous, so I hope we make it there in one piece. Welcome to our final stop of the evening. I got some bad news. You have to listen to me again for the second time or third time. So this is a piece called School de Lève, and it was created by Connecticut artist Chris Plaisted. Chris was not able to come tonight. He actually lives all the way out in like the western part of Connecticut, so it's a bit of a hike. But once again, he did provide me with a nice statement, so I'm going to pretend to be Chris here for a second. And word of warning. So this statement has a couple of words in it that are like Danish or Nordic, and I had to spend some time this morning looking them up to make sure that I'm saying them correctly. So I'm going to dance this dance as best I can, but if I don't get it 100%, I apologize. So Chris says about his piece, excuse me, Skuldelev is based on the Skuldelev ships, 5 original Viking ships recovered from the Peberenden waterway at Skuldelev, north of Roskilde in Denmark. Skuldelev outlines the sail and hull approaching and the churning water in this abstract sculpture, and below are the imagined monsters of the sea. The Skuldelev ships are a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the Vikings and offer valuable insights into maritime history. We must answer the call of the sea. The Skuldelev ships remind us of the ocean's power and beauty, inspiring us to explore and appreciate this vast and mysterious world. As we face adversity and challenges, we must persevere and remain steadfast in our commitment to preserving our cultural heritage and protecting our environment. Only then can we ensure that the seaport remains an authentic reflection of the people who live and work here and a source of inspiration and wonder for future generations. Once again, a beautiful statement from Connecticut-based Chris Plaisted. A really touching statement, and I guess kind of a good place to start wrapping things up. So that's it. That is our Seaport Artwalk 2024. That's all of our pieces. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Just a couple of things before we end up. I once again want to thank everybody who helps to make this possible every year. I want to give a big round of applause to all of our artists, Chris, Ed, Boston Maki, Jacob, Brooke, Mandy, and Jess. They're all here somewhere, so big round of applause. Thank you very much to our friends at DATMA and our friends at Vineyard Wind for joining us. Always a pleasure. Thank you to our funders, all of our partners. Thank you to Mayor Jon Mitchell, once again, for his support. Thank you to Josh Souza for his exemplary photography work tonight. Thank you to, she's over there not looking, but Colleen McRamus for her amazing skills. Thank you to Margot Saulnier for being Margot, as the mayor said. Always appreciated. And of course, what do you think I'm going to say next? Thank you to all of you, because you all answered the call of the sea tonight. You joined us here, and you all make this so special every year. So we thank you for that. What am I forgetting? Oh yeah, social media feeds. Staying in touch with us. That's very important. Please make sure to stay in touch with us by following us on Facebook at New Bedford Creative. Follow us on Instagram at New Bedford Creative. Follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel at New Bedford Creative. Basically, just look up New Bedford Creative. You'll find us wherever we are. Also, make sure to go on our website, newbedfordcreative.org. We have an entire page on our website solely dedicated to Seaport Artwalk, and there's all sorts of other great resources for artists on our website, and you can find all of our upcoming programs and opportunities. Once again, that's newbedfordcreative.org. Also, make sure to tell all your friends about Seaport Artwalk. The work is going to be up until about October 31st, so when you see jack-o'-lanterns, you know that's time. That's means it's time to come down. And now I think I really am done. Yes, don't worry. Also important. So once again, thank you all very much. I encourage you to head up the street and enjoy the rest of your AHA night. There's a lot of other cool stuff going on throughout the rest of the night. Explore all of what downtown New Bedford has to offer. Stay safe out there and have a wonderful evening. Thanks again. Good night.
Thank you, Zane. Yoo-hoo!